This is a Trevor and Dragon story. These are set in a world where humans, ogres, dwarves and giants all live cheek by jowl. Or, more likely in the case of dwarves and giants, cheek by kneecap. This is called Trevor, Dragon and the AMC. Now the AMC is the Anti-Monster Club. It's run by two guys, Dr. Case and Donald Black, the blacksmith. This tells of their struggle against a monster in their midst. Hope you like it. Here goes. Trevor was a giant and lived near the Lion Pub. This was owned by Dr. Case of Anti-Monster Club. It's where they held their rallies dressed in masks and Viking hats, preaching racial purity by fabricating facts. They claimed they were protecting decent folk from monstrous fiends, and demons lived amongst them and polluted human genes. Ogres, dwarves and giants were the devil in disguise, and all of those that disagreed were treacherous foreign spies. The AMC were popular. They had the public's ear, spreading their divisive views and generating fear. Licensed every Saturday to protest on Mill Lane, they'd gather outside Trevor's in a Giants Out campaign. But Trevor couldn't understand why people were so cruel. Most of them he knew quite well, old classmates from his school. But once they joined the AMC, their minds filled up with hate, and they would stand and rant and rave outside our Trevor's gate. Then young Trev met Dragon and the two became good mates, learning from each other in intellectual debates. Pleasant afternoons were spent discussing books they'd read. Dragon even moved his den to Trevor's garden shed. But that Saturday, the AMC were louder than before, chanting, "Kill the giant!" and throwing bottles at his door. Now Dragon knew that Trevor would be scared to death inside, so thought an intervention could be more than justified. He ambled out to meet them, quite expecting them to run, but Mr. Black, the leader, from his coat, took out a gun. He pointed it at Dragon, saying, "Treacherous foreign spy, killing you is self-defence, as we'll all testify." Poor Dragon looked to be quite shocked that things had got this bad, but then he smiled and calmly stated, "It does make me sad that rational folk will terrorise their neighbours in this way," then launched his whip-like tail and snatched the blacksmith's gun away. Raising up the barrels, Dragon opened up his jaw, calmly bit the ends off, dropped the rest onto the floor, turned to the now silent mob and said, "Let's test my aim. I will count to 21, then toast your hats with flame." Dragon started counting, but before he got to 10, all the hats had vanished, so he strolled back to his den. But Mr. Black was livid and went safely at the pub, called a special rally of the Anti-Monster Club. Donald Black and Dr. Case addressed the gathered men. "You let the monsters win today. Don't do the same again. We'll have to start a new campaign against the dragon threat. He may have won a battle, but the war's not over yet. By siding with the giant, Dragon's made himself fair game. We'll target him with our bullets and destroy the beast's good name. Monsters won't be beaten using truthfulness or tact. We'll demonise this dragon, then the constables will act. Dragon is a menace," screamed the adverts on TV. "No one in this town is safe while he's still roaming free. The military should round him up and park him in a cage." It even made the headlines on the Daily Mail front page. When Dragon saw the adverts and the libellous things they said, his temperature went through the roof and scorched out Trevor's shed. But then he did some shopping at an online superstore. He would make the AMC regret declaring war. When young, he was relentless playing pranks and telling jokes, constantly inventing novel ways to trick and hoax. So now he started planning vengeful tricks that he could play, secretly preparing so they're perfect on the day. Thus it was that Wednesday night he parcelled up the kits. Electric wire, super glue plus some assorted bits, fart pills and the laxatives and popcorn stuffed in tins. Then he gave a chuckle saying, "Now the fun begins." Heading out the back way through the woods by Poacher's Track, he made his way to City Forge to set up Donald Black. The shop was empty, cold and dark, and Dragon cleared a space beneath the forge's coals and coke and put the tins in place. Next stop was the Lion Pub, and silently he crept down into the cellar while the drunken barman slept. He opened up the barrels and, while relishing the smell, mixed in all the fart pills and the laxatives as well. He struggled not to giggle on the way to Dr. Case, thinking of the fun he'd have with pranking coup de grace. He knew from all his research that the doctor loved his car, a classic British racing green E-type Jaguar. He also loved his garden and immaculate display of highly scented roses with a wonderful bouquet. So, all around that garden, in the cars and Bloom's defence, Dr. Case had installed a high-volt cattle fence. At 5 the sun was rising and the prep work was all done, so Dragon started singing and plucked roses, one by one. Dr. Case rushed out the door, saw the dragon there, shouted, "You monster, get you gone back to your lair! You're trespassing, you animal! I'm fetching the police! I'll get you thrown into a cage with no chance of release!" The dragon merely pointed to the fancy racing car and said, "With what I've done to that, you'll not get very far." Dr. Case rushed to his jag, expression quite aghast, grabbed to hold the handle, and then found his hand stuck fast. It's then he saw the cable run into his high-volt fence and Dragon leaning on the switch. It started to make sense. Dragon showed the doctor a big empty tube of glue, then slowly turned the power on, saying, "What does this switch do?" Dr. Case's hand was glued and stuck there on the drive. He screamed as fence and racing car was suddenly made live. Nearly 20 minutes before his missus came to help, by which time his screaming had subsided to a yelp. Dragon, though, had left to watch the fate of Donald Black and currently was perched upon the forge's chimney stack. The smith was heating up the coals within the blacksmith shop, pumping on the bellows, when he heard a muffled pop. Then he heard another, then a third, and then a boom! As all the popcorn burst, the tins of Firestorm filled the room. Hundreds of the kernels mixed with brightly glowing coke exploded from the fire pit in a hail of flame and smoke. And striding through the doorway, Laughing Dragon braved the flames and dragged the smith to safety, saying, "Don't you love these games?" The fire brigade turned up just then and hosed the smithy down. So Dragon went to breakfast at a cafe just outside town. Several fry-ups later, Dragon flew back to the shed and curled up on the nettles that he used to lie in his bed. Donald Black and Dr. Case phoned round the AMC, ordering the members to be at the pub for 3. An extra special meeting, then a march to Trevor's place to eliminate the monsters and destroy their demon base. church bell tolled out 2 o'clock as Dragon roused from sleep. They noticed Trev outside his door, slumped over in a heap. Blood was flowing from his head. His friend was in some pain. And then he saw the Viking hats retreating down the lane. Dragon rushed to Trevor's aid and helped his friend to stand. Trevor stammered, "Mate, I'm scared. They've made a new demand. I have to leave the town today. They're coming back at 5, and if I'm still in residence, they're burning me alive." Dragon helped his friend indoors and gently bathed his head. Then grimly stated, "I predict they'll soon wish they were dead. I doubt they'll want to march too far with bellies full of stout. In fact, I guarantee today not one will venture out." Meanwhile, at the local pub, the barman left his pit and headed for the optics, just to soothe his head a bit. He washed the glasses, flushed the pipes, and opened up the pub, ready for the meeting of the Anti-Monster Club. Members dressed in Martian hats soon crowded out the bar. Dr. Case surveyed the mob, then waved his fat cigar. Silence fell upon the crowd as he began to talk. "My friends, I stand before you now as one who's walked the walk. I've campaigned now for many years to rid this town of fear, but monsters still infest the place and more come every year. We have to act decisively so humans can be free. And just to get you in the mood, the drinks are all on me." The atmosphere got rowdy then as members drank their fill. The air was flowing freely until Mr. Black got ill. He felt a pressure building with a rumbling in his gut. Gradually, it made its way down closer to his butt. He edged his way towards the gents with buttocks tense and tight, but 2 steps from the entrance, Donald's muscles lost the fight. The action of the laxative, propelled by excess gas, ballooned the blacksmith trousers from the ankle up to us. The seams were under such a stress that something had to go. Several members backed away and said, "He's gonna blow!" Once again he farted and the leather breeches burst, spraying all the room with poo, and he was just the first. Panic hit the drinkers as they headed for the door. Several members squatted and just cracked upon the floor. More were in the car park with their trousers round their knees, screaming out to Jesus, "Oh God, make it finish, please!" That was when the TV crew from local news appeared. The reporter spoke to camera saying, "These guys are so weird. They're running round in Martian hats and screaming like they're nuts, then crouching down and firing diarrhea from their butts." The camera panned and viewers saw a scene from Dante's hell. Naked buttocks squirting, masked men retching from the smell, and laughing dragon on the roof sat mocking those below. Was it he that called the newsmen? Well, I guess we'll never know. It just goes to show that upsetting dragons is never going to be a wise choice of things to do. If you enjoyed this poem, please share and press like. God bless you and keep you safe.